Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome and thanks for joining us. The good news, the fallout from the election just continues to happen. Republicans officially won control of the House, meaning Republicans now control all three branches. They just got to 218 in the House. We're at 53 in the Senate. Of course, got the executive branch. I don't think this election could have gone any better. Our work is not done, though. Please don't forget that. You know, we're all basking in the glow right now. This phenomenal Trump congressional win, and it's been such a relief for all of us. But we can't get complacent now. We can't just say, Trump's in the office now. Mm-hmm. Everything's fine. We have to stay vigilant and demand that Republicans and Donald Trump follow through with the agenda that got them elected. Because anybody remember what happened in 2016? We thought, okay, we got it made now. We finally got rid of Obama. We don't have to worry about Hillary. This is great. There's nothing to worry about. And then in 2018, because they didn't do anything but sit on their hands, Democrats took back Congress. And Trump lost in 2020. So we just can't allow that to happen. So please do what you said you were going to do.
Yeah, expectations are definitely high.
Open up drilling again. You got to do that. Build the wall. Not just 2% of it, all of it. Pursue tax reform. Give us tax cuts. Spark the economy. That's what will happen if they do this. And roll back the regulations like Trump has been talking about that impede business in this country. And let's get this thing rolling and win again in 26 and 28. Please hold their feet to the fire. Don't think that we've got it made now, because we don't. I mean, I think this is a first step toward saving the nation. But that wasn't the only step we need to take.
Demons don't sleep. Got to keep fighting them.
Exactly. Yesterday, it was reported that Donald Trump would name Stephen Miller as his White House deputy chief of staff. I mean, this thing's rolling right along.
Yeah, that was his top immigration advisor, I believe.
Yeah, he was. Also, Florida Congressman Mike Waltz was named as his national security advisor. And then last night it was reported that Florida Senator Marco Rubio would be named Secretary of State. How about that?
Yeah.
I mean, like that. That was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think early on he was all about funding Ukraine and giving them aid, but he's come around on that.
Yeah, I think so.
And said we got to stop funding a stalemate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. What we've been kind of trying to say for a while now. Here's a recent exchange Rubio had with that pro-Hamas Code Pink protester.
She's always out in front of these offices. It's awesome. She's dedicated.
Yeah.
Needs to get a job.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Senator Rubio, will you call for ceasefire?
No, I will not. On the contrary.
Rubio,
are you filming it?
Wait,
so I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes. Mm-hmm. And I hope you guys post that.
And what about the civilians that are being killed every day?
Hamas should stop hiding behind civilians, putting civilians in the way. Hamas knew that this was going to lead to this. So Hamas should stop building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So you don't care that 15,000 have died? You don't care about the babies that are being killed every day?
Horrifying. I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame. That's what I think. Make sure you post that, please.
All right.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And people can't just forget about what happened in Israel. And, of course,
yeah, right.
They already have. But, I mean, they just found this closed-circuit television footage that shows the Israeli citizens being tortured right there, hung from the ceiling by these Hamas animals.
Good gosh.
I mean, it's absolutely horrific. Do not forget. And
oh, man. Wow.
So there you go. At least Rubio understands that.
Animals.
Likely your next Secretary of State.
He's come a long way since the little Marco days.
Yeah. Yep.
With President Trump. It's amazing how these things work politically. But I think that's a good pick for Secretary of State.
Yeah, and then we got Kristi Noem. It just broke overnight.
Yeah.
Homeland Security.
I don't know exactly where that comes from.
South Dakota, right on the border.
Yeah, of that problematic relationship we have with Canada. Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, she has stopped a lot of curling matches from happening, though, in South Dakota.
I don't like that.
Yeah, she stood in the way there, so good for her.
Well, she's a puppy killer, so maybe that is what we need in the
maybe
in that.
Yeah, maybe just threaten to take these countries
puppies away
out to the gravel pit.
Also reported overnight that Robert Kennedy plans on firing 600 National Institute of Health employees. Oh, look, they had a tweet. Cool.
Huh.
Look at that.
RFK to fire 600 employees at the National Institutes of Health, replacing them with a new cohort of workers as he seeks to dramatically reshape America's health agencies. From ABC News. From his position as what?
We don't know. We
don't even know. How is he firing people when he doesn't even have a job?
He's the Maha chief.
He's the Maha chief. Thank you. We created a new job for him.
I don't know.
Weird.
It is really weird. That was weird.
Yeah.
I think since he doesn't have, he's not going to get approved by the Senate, regardless of which party is in power. So I think that he's just going to have some, pseudo role. I have no idea, but it's going to be something with health.
It's interesting.
Keep him away from the liquid gold.
I mean, how could ABC be reporting he's going to fire 600 people when he's got no power at all to fire 600?
I didn't.
One person.
Yeah, well, something's going to happen. He's going to get some kind of position.
I guess.
Yesterday when we were talking about all the stuff that RFK was posting, I didn't realize that over the weekend, totally missed this, that he and Elon Musk spent all day in meetings with Trump over the weekend. So,
okay,
I tell you, they're plotting the Department of Government Efficiency. I like it.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's granddaughter, the daughter of Don Jr., put a vlog out overnight, over the weekend, and it shows everybody who met with President Trump.
What?
Over the last weekend.
Oh, send this to me.
Oh, it was awesome. That girl is...
Can you run through the list of all the people, or do we know already?
Give me 1 second.
Okay, that's awesome. Cool.
If you're going to bring it up, have it ready. I mean, what's this 1 second stuff? We want it now.
He's the most impatient person in the world. You do realize that?
No, I don't.
So just get back to us, I guess, if your computer is going to cooperate at some point. He probably doesn't have it saved, so he has to go and search, you see.
Okay, so is this Tom Homan's rant about deportations recently, since he's been appointed, or is this from a while ago?
This was yesterday morning on Fox and Friends.
Okay, yesterday. Here's what Tom Homan said about mass deportation.
Yeah, this is going to be your ICE guy, our border czar. Thank you.
Trump, he was suing the sanctuary cities, DOJ suing the sanctuary cities, pulling federal funds. Of course, day one, when Joe Biden came in office, he stopped that lawsuit. So that has to be put back in place. And look, I've seen some of these Democratic governors say they're going to stand in the way. They're going to make it hard for us. Well, a suggestion: if you're not going to help us, get the hell out of the way, but we're going to do it. So if we can't get assistance from New York City, and we may have to double the number of agents we send in New York City, because we're going to do the job. We're going to do the job without you or with you. But it's much easier to arrest a bad guy. Like I just said, we're concentrating on public safety threats of human and national security threats. Right. It's much easier to arrest a bad guy in the jail. Give us access to Rikers Island that we've been kicked out of. Let us get the bad guy into jail. It's safer for the alien. It's safer for the officer. It's safer for the community.
Wow. This guy doesn't care what you think or say about him. He's going to get the job done.
Your sanctuary cities, your governors who are going to try to stop you from enforcing federal law, but no.
We'll just send more agents.
Yeah, we're going to.
Plus, we'll arrest you if we have to. Go ahead.
I like it. I actually like that.
Yeah, here's a flashback for a time when Homan and Representative Jayapal were going at it.
So good.
Please respect the chair's authority.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Homan!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer.
That's great.
I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Good for you.
Will suspend.
That's
I love
awesome.
This guy.
That's
I love
awesome.
this guy. And I know we got a longer montage or something of his greatest hits coming up. What, in overtime probably? But we just had even more breaking news. Now I can't find. Everyone is saying that that this next clip we're gonna play of Kash Patel is he's gonna be your next CIA director. So help me, that has to be true. You have to see this clip. This is the guy that's about to be appointed as the next CIA director. You're going to love this.
You need a 24/7 declassification office, whatever you want to call it. Transparency, truth, whatever, I don't care. Sits in the White House, reports directly to you, and you take incoming from the United States of America. I want JFK. I want the 9/11 files. I want this. I want that. All the FBI, and this is a tool, this is something we didn't cover. What the deep state uses the most to cover up their corruption is an illegal application of the classification system. Remember the Lovebirds text from, this is a beauty, the Lovebirds text from FBI, DOJ land, Russiagate, Strzok and Page were texting each other. They were running the Russiagate investigation against Trump. They were the head of the counterintelligence unit at the FBI. And they're having an extramarital affair together. Can't make this stuff up. They're sending each other texts about how much they hate Trump and are going to create an insurance policy to stop Trump. Then we finally find those text messages. You know what the FBI and DOJ do for like a year? Redact them to congressional investigators and congressional men and women running the oversight of their agency. That's just one example. But it gets even better. Here's the deep state full circle. Just last week, do you know what Strzok and Page received from the Department of Justice?
What?
A $1.5 million payout to settle a lawsuit that Strzok and Page brought for the improper disclosure of their personal text messages on FBI phones. And the DOJ just rewarded them. They broke the law. They broke the chain of command. They broke every regulation there is in the FBI. They weaponized the system of justice against a political target they hated. We found those text messages, and we got them declassified finally in full when I became Deputy Director of National Intelligence. And the world has now seen them, and they can read them. And that's the best form of transparency. That's why I want this 24/7 declassification office. Don't have me regurgitate it to you. Read it. Get the documents, get the files, get the memos. But the deep state came full circle and gave these guys a payday for rigging a presidential election and breaking the law.
Wow.
So now you know what happens.
Wow.
That's step one. Step two, get America the truth. And that's what that office would be for.
Your next CIA director.
So that's for sure.
I've seen.
Is that confirmed,
multiple
or we're
reports.
just speculating?
I'm just not seeing it from.
Because I haven't heard an official announcement yet, but he's a great choice. That's awesome. That's how sick we are of this stuff. He's just putting no-nonsense people into these roles to get things done. So be it.
Yeah, hey.
Get the things done.
Simon Ateba says he's named him.
Oh.
So there you go.
Okay.
I like it.
Good. That's great.
So good. I mean, this is...
Oh, man.
But again, just like you opened the show, Pat, high expectations.
Yes. Very high. Higher than last time, really. I mean, last time we were super concerned and we were eager to get rid of Obamacare. And that was probably one of the main things on the agenda that we expected from them, because they pretended like they were going to. Wasn't it 53 times or something? They voted meaninglessly because they didn't have the majority, but they voted 53 times or something to get rid of Obamacare.
Right.
And then when push came to shove, they didn't. They just stood there, sat there, did nothing.
It was that famous late night vote. John McCain was the deciding vote, and he proudly came up to the recorder and thumbs down. And that was the single vote that stopped Obamacare from being repealed. Yep.
So this time, with our expectations sky high, please, they've got to deliver. They've got to. Because, again, we have a country to save, and it's imperative that they take the steps that we put them there to take. All right. Let me tell you about Bonhoeffer. You know, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited to see Bonhoeffer. Pastor, spy, assassin. Angel Studios' latest movie hitting theaters on November 22nd. So that is 10 days from now. 10 days from now. It's set in a world of on the edge of destruction. The film follows Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a pastor who becomes entangled in a dangerous plot to assassinate Hitler. As the Nazi threat intensifies, Bonhoeffer faces a profound moral dilemma. Should he abandon his commitment to nonviolence to save millions of Jews from genocide? His faith and fate are on the line as he considers whether risking everything in a daring act could change history or cost him his life. This Thanksgiving, Bonhoeffer, pastor, spy, assassin, promises to bring a powerful and thoughtful story to the big screen, exploring themes of faith, courage, and sacrifice in the darkest times. Don't miss the chance to experience this gripping historical drama. It's a true story, obviously. It's really well done from what I've heard. I can't wait to see it. Secure your tickets now. Check showtimes at angel.com/unleashed. This studio really does things right. They're the ones who did Cabrini. Anybody see that?
Oh, I love that movie.
Excellent movie.
Perfect.
Excellent. We just watched it again over the weekend.
Oh, nice.
My brother-in-law and his wife were in town, and so they loved it. I mean, everybody who sees it loves it. Angel Studio, they know what they're doing. The Chosen, Cabrini, Bonhoeffer now. So go to angel.com/unleashed. That's angel, ANGEL, .com, angel.com/unleashed.
That gray is unleashed.
Okay. How did Trump win a Muslim majority in Dearborn, Michigan? Is the big question on Democrats' minds. They can't understand how the Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan actually voted for Donald Trump. It's fascinating because when you think about it, it makes so much more sense for Muslims to vote Republican than it does for Democrat, other than the support for Israel, which I get. They don't support Israel. But other than that, they align way more closely with Republicans than Democrats. They're not for abortion on demand. They're certainly not for taxation. It's a sin in Sharia law. Usury, right? Isn't that what they call it? They don't want never-ending wars. I mean, so this shouldn't be a mystery, but it's interesting to see all of the various factions in this country coming together and realizing Democrats have screwed them now for 70 years, and we're sick and tired of it, and we're not going to put it up with it anymore. This is the most diverse Republican tent, certainly since the civil rights movement, when Democrats got credit for that, even though it was Republicans who pushed it forward for years and years and years, and then when it finally comes to fruition, they give the Democrats credit for it. Incredible. Trump also widened his victory margin in the Ohio county who had the Haitian controversy going on. Okay, the cats and dogs being eaten by Haitian refugees. Well, that didn't hurt him there because a lot of the people in the county apparently thought something was going on. And so he won by 29.4 points in this election last week. That's up 6.1 points from his 23.3 point victory over Biden in the county. The 2024 election results left Trump with 64.2% of the vote in the county, and Kamala Harris coming in with 34.8%. So, I mean, it's incredible the devastation done to the Democrat Party. And where do they turn? Where do they go from here? I certainly don't know, and I don't think they do either.
It's interesting that you just ran through that and how diverse the vote was for Donald Trump. Unprecedented in Republican electoral history. But yet, you've got these people that are making the rounds on the left, I mean, this Princeton professor, you might want to play clip 8 here now because they still do not get it. They want to believe one thing, and it's completely devoid of reality when it comes to the typical Trump voter last Tuesday. Watch this guy.
There's this sense, right, that whiteness, right, is under threat. The demographic shifts. The country isn't what all of these racially ambiguous children on Cheerios commercials are confusing the hell out of me. Right?
Eddie, a lot of people voted because their life's too damn expensive, and it was here, and
they voted for. You're telling me, Stephanie, that all of these people who believe that their lives are that bread is too high and eggs are too high, that they voted for a convicted felon. A guy who said we can grab the pea.
I think that a lot.
They voted for this guy.
I'm not defending it, but I think there are tons of people that don't pay attention to, and I'm not defending it, don't pay attention to politics at all. But while we live in the most prosperous country in the world, people are saying life's not fair. I'm not doing well. My son's still living in the basement. I can't seem to get a job. I don't like the status quo. I'm voting for something else, and he was the person.
I love you to life.
I love you,
but I do not believe that. I cannot believe that. And the reason I think you believe it is because you don't want to believe that that's what's really motivating them. It's always the case. People don't want to believe what the country actually is. Because if they believe it, they're going to have to confront what's in them.
Get out
I don't believe that.
This guy.
They voted for a crook.
Oh, my God.
A person who they know is stealing from just doing everything to undermine the so-called country that they love.
Pause it for
and then
a
they're telling us.
He couldn't even figure out how to describe what he did. They voted for a person who did things that I don't like. What'd he do? Let's go down that road. All right, let him finish if he hasn't yet.
Person who they know is stealing from just doing everything to undermine the so-called country that they love.
Stealing something.
And then they're telling us the BS that it's economics. We know that's not true.
No.
This guy.
No, we don't. We don't know that's not true. That's true. And here's the thing about the 34 charges that he was convicted on. People also understand what that was all about. And it wasn't about wrongdoing or illegality on the part of Trump. It was about Joe Biden and his DOJ going after him. And even the state prosecutions, you know that came from the top, and they directed all of this stuff. Everybody knows it. We're not on board with the fact that he's a convicted felon. That's your answer. It's not that we didn't care about it, we discounted it. It's that we understand what that was all about and why he was convicted of 34 charges. And it's just sheer unadulterated political hatred.
Sounds like you're defending whiteness. That's what I'm hearing.
I know.
Thank you, Keith. Someone had to say it.
And that professor
That's certainly what he's hearing.
That is your typical, I mean, he's obviously Ivy League, but that's your typical college professor that you are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to have your children's brain completely washed into their image.
Scary, isn't it?
Congratulations.
It's really scary to think of what's going on in our higher education right now. It's going on in lower education too, but when you have to pay, as Keith just pointed out, multiple thousands, hundreds of thousands in some cases, for your kids to be indoctrinated, you might want to rethink that a little bit.
And yesterday we talked about all those colleges that are closing down and having puppy days and goat days.
Puppy days.
Yeah.
And duck days.
Right. And psychiatrists, therapists are being brought in.
You're paying for the world's most expensive petting zoo when you send your kids to an Ivy League school these days.
Yeah. Man. And it's all the major institutions, the best institutions in the world. Congratulations. These little darlings that have been given participation trophies their whole life and told that everything they do, even when they're singing completely off key and can't hit a single note, they're fantastic singers. They're wonderful performers. We're gonna lower the standards in school so that you can still get A's, even though you're a bonehead and you don't study and you don't work and you never have and you can barely read. But we're going to pass you, and we're going to give you an A. Because, darn it, you're worth it. Just by being here, you're worth it.
Just because you're dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, wow. So now we're reaping what we've sown.
Yep.
And we're pushing back on that a little bit, and they can't handle it.
And can I ask you?
They can't handle it.
Chris, I know that you will know the answer to this. I'm going to put you on the spot. When you scroll through social media, it's obviously liberal woman after liberal woman shaving their hair off.
Their hair.
Okay, all right. Hang on. So, first of all, I don't get it. I don't take 2 seconds to stop and figure it out. I keep scrolling and I see be a 4B chick or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not spending more than 2 seconds trying to figure that out. What the hell is 4B, and what's the deal with the shaving of the head of these liberal freaks that can't take that Donald Trump won?
Is it Latin? I think the B's are not. It means something in another language, I believe.
So the 4B movement means, and I don't think they even know they named the 4Bs, but it's like no dating men, no sex with men, no childbirth, and no marriage until Trump is out of office.
Yeah, except that the B's, all those words start with B in some other language.
Okay. So is that right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also an interesting movement based on this mass murderer in the 1600s who sold poison to women whose husbands had abused them. And 600 men were murdered like this.
Oh, wow.
And so, I mean, who knows if they were abusive or not? We don't know that for sure. It was 400 years ago, but still. So you would put this arsenic, and it was belladonna, and you would put it in their drink of whatever they were going to, water or tea, and you can't. Apparently, you can't taste it.
Oh, can't taste it.
And it's undetectable.
Oh, wow. So it is.
Afterward, even now, it's supposedly undetectable. So we've got these videos now of all of these liberal women pretending to, maybe not even pretending, spiking their husband's or boyfriend's drink with this supposed
So what you're
mixture.
saying that if you're dating someone,
so it's cute. Isn't that clever and fun? Yeah, they're gonna simulate murder or actually murder. I don't know.
So what I'm gathering here, if you run the simulation here, if you're a guy, and you're not sure, and all of a sudden your woman shows up with her head shaved. You might want to not drink anything.
Yeah, check your tea. Check your tea. Make sure that you make the tea and you keep track of the tea right up to the time that you put it in your gullet.
So she's never brought you a cup of tea.
Right.
And tonight is the first night. She's like,
oh, honey,
hey, baby.
I know you've been stressed with the election. Here, have a little cup of tea.
No, if you can't vouch for the chain of custody of that tea.
Chain of custody,
don't do it.
Maybe it's time to hire a cupbearer.
I seriously would not be surprised.
I would not be surprised
if
either.
some of these freaks are actually poisoning their husbands.
I mean, you've got the guy in Minnesota who killed himself and his family.
Oh, that
because
was so
he
sad.
Couldn't stand the thought of them living in a world that Trump was president.
Yeah, and then there was the daughter who took an axe to her father because she was so distraught over Trump being elected, and I think her father had voted for Trump. She took an axe to him and killed him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
I did not hear that.
Yeah. So it's good things, you know. It's a good thing that we're a mature,
healthy nation.
Healthy nation. Yes.
And there's so many people who have led those types of people to that point.
Oh yes.
I mean,
we just
played the professor. We got colleges. We got the media.
Yeah.
We got celebrities.
Many of the Democrat leaders.
Many of the Democrat leaders have led this mental illness down the primrose path to this kind of, and it goes right back to the whole, where's my participation trophy?
It sure does.
And instead, this is to the extreme where I thought everything was going to be just fine in the way that I want it.
Mm-hmm. Somebody once said, America's chickens are coming home to roost. Seems to be what's happening for these psychotic leftists right now.
Yeah.
888-900-3393. More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets here. Patriot Beagles 2 tweets, waiting for the Democrats to call the election an insurrection. Wait for it. Reductive garbage. Lee Zeldin got tapped for EPA as well. That's another seemingly random one. That role is super important, though.
Yes.
Indeed. Shannon Bowles. Love all the new appointments from Trump. Looking forward to the no BS agenda. Tamara B. Page and Strzok use their FBI phones to message each other. Everyone knows that you don't use your employer's phone to message your lover. Everyone but these two, I guess. I mean, and it's the FBI. Crazy. BYU Mullet Head US tweets, it's about time we get some real men in the jobs to cowboy up. Do the job and throw the illegals out of the country. Start showing a force of good in America. From Mommy and Me, CFA, Democrats, the party of both union labor and unfettered illegal immigration. Muslims, feminists, and LGBTQ. Too many competing interests at the same time, and the cracks are starting to show. Very true. Yeah, because the interests of those groups certainly don't align. That's for sure. So yesterday, we had the list of House senators may be voting tomorrow when Senate Republicans choose the next majority leader. And it looked like Thune was in the lead. We had 24 for Thune, 18 Cornyn, and 11 for Rick Scott.
Yeah, and these percentages, someone posted the heritage scores.
Oh, good.
Right? So
okay.
Thune, 62%.
So he's even worse than Cornyn?
According to their heritage rating.
Wow. Wow.
But look at Scott.
95%. Yeah.
Right.
I'd take that. That's solid. So Senator Kennedy, John Kennedy, says we shouldn't be so quick to assume it's already a done deal.
Well, there's an official-looking document floating around the internet that supposedly says, here's how every Republican senator would vote, and here's who he or she would vote for Senate majority leader. And in an unprecedented act of selflessness, it has Senator Thune actually voting against himself and for Senator Cornyn. If you think this list is real or accurate, then
what?
You probably think that Elvis is alive and running a small bait stand on Lake Erie.
Pause it for a second. Is he saying he's not? That's a very bad example.
Okay. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows he's alive. And
he's at a nursing home,
he shares a flat with Adolf Hitler in Argentina.
Okay, now you're getting ridiculous because Senator Kennedy tells us where Elvis is.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And on Lake Erie.
No, he's not. He's not on Lake Erie selling bait.
We haven't even had a meeting
in the
yet
Gulf.
to hear the formal proposals from the three nominees about how, if at all, they will run things differently than Senator McConnell. Here's what I know. We will pick a leader who will advance President Trump's agenda. We saw what everybody else saw on Tuesday night. Here's, despite what the so-called experts in Washington say, with their NPR tote bags and their organic broccoli, this was a really simple message from the people. Republicans aren't perfect, but the other side is crazy. And President Trump is going to do things differently, and we will pick a leader who will help him do that.
Good.
Okay.
Well, all right. And certainly Trump's pick is Rick Scott. So I think you go against that pick at your own peril. The president will not appreciate it.
Yeah, and Rick Scott says he's gaining votes. Quote, we can win this thing.
And it's tomorrow, right? That's when the vote takes place.
Why does it have to be secret? I don't care for that.
I don't know. I don't either. It should be transparent. We should know who everybody voted for. But we're not going to, apparently. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? There's a podcast called Pod Save America. I think we've talked about that before.
We have, yes.
They had an interesting discussion the other day on when Joe Biden got out of the race during the summer. Check this out.
Joe Biden's decision to run for president again was a catastrophic mistake. It just was. And he and his inner circle...
Pause it for a second. Are these guys Democrat-leaning or Democrats?
Yes.
Yeah, they're liberals,
I believe
right?
they were part of the Obama.
Yeah, okay. Let them go.
Joe Biden's decision to run for president again was a catastrophic mistake. It just was. And he and his inner circle, they refused to believe the polls. They refused to believe he was unpopular. They refused to acknowledge until very late that anyone could be upset about inflation, and they just kept telling us that his presidency was historic and it was the greatest economy ever. We just heard him again say that it's the greatest economy ever. Clearly, 70, 80% of voters don't believe that. They don't believe that about their own personal financial situation, but they just keep telling us that. And then after the debate, the Biden people told us that the polls were fine. And Biden was still the strongest candidate. They were privately telling reporters at the time that Kamala Harris couldn't win. So they were shivving Kamala Harris to reporters while they told everyone else, not a time for an open process, and his vice president can't win, so he's the strongest candidate. Then we find out, when the Biden campaign becomes the Harris campaign, that the Biden campaign's own internal polling, at the time when they were telling us he was the strongest candidate, showed that Donald Trump was going to win 400 electoral votes. That's what their own internal polling said.
There were polls showing 80% of voters thought Joe Biden was too old to get a second term before the debate. And then we all watched the debate. And then in the last few weeks, Biden was campaigning, and he said, we need to lock Trump up. He created a controversy over whether Trump supporters were garbage. He said, the weird thing about slapping Trump on the ass. Like, his moments on the campaign trail were flawless either.
You cannot.
It's absurd.
It's
absurd.
Yeah,
trying to be generous here.
I'm done being generous.
I want to stay for the record. I also think all the TV money ads should be.
It should be rethought too.
More importantly, the idea that Joe Biden was going to do better in this race than Kamala Harris is on its face absurd.
Wow. Internal polling had Trump winning 400 electoral votes. Wow.
I mean, if this is who you're going to steal an election for, congratulations. You got your comeuppance with this last election after what you did in 2020.
Yeah.
And to the Daily Caller's point on the video last week, it has the potential to be so much worse for Democrats.
Oh yeah, and
in 2024 than if they just let Trump have it in 2020.
Those hosts were Barack Obama's staffers. Okay. They created this podcast.
Oh, okay.
All four of them. Yeah.
How about the guest logs over at Mar-a-Lago? We dug those up yet?
No, because she doesn't put their names, and we guys already talked about the two main ones. I don't recognize anybody else from the video.
Well, you may not recognize anybody.
I'll send you the video.
Give us a shot here. We want to know.
It's a 10-minute
Don't you want to play
video.
the guest?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's a 10-minute long video.
Hold on a second. He may be impatient. I have no attention span. So
it's 10 minutes?
Yeah, the vlog.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because she goes through the election night and everything else that has happened.
Okay. Interesting. Speaking of Mar-a-Lago, did you see that Melania Trump has declined the invitation to meet with Jill Biden at the White House?
And you should.
Because of the ransacking of Mar-a-Lago. I think that's so great.
And her underwear drawer, if I believe that's what the person talked about.
That they actually went through Melania's underwear drawer. Now, I think that had a little something to do with some other kind of thing. That was just some weirdness on the part of the FBI agents that raided the house. But I'd be pissed too. And so she's not going to be fake and phony and show up at the White House and pretend like everything's okay, because it isn't. I think
never
that's
mind,
great.
Never mind the stuff that Joe and his wife Jill, who's doing the inviting here, said about her husband.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I'm not going to go hang out with you. Shut up.
Right. Now, Trump basically has to. He's got to, and he did, accept the invitation to meet with Biden at the White House, and they're going to do that tomorrow. Because there's a transition to consider. But she's under no obligation. She doesn't need to do that, and she's not going to.
Do you have the quotes from the source of the Melania? Because I do, and I love.
If you do, share them.
Okay, yeah, I love the quote. Joe Biden. This is from the source close to Melania. Joe Biden's husband authorized the FBI snooping through her underwear drawer. The Bidens are disgusting.
Oh, nice.
The Bidens are disgusting.
Joe Biden is.
That sums it up nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah. Joe Biden isn't someone Melania needs to meet.
That's for sure.
I love that line. The Bidens are disgusting. Yes.
And it's so true. They are disgusting. Just call it what it is. You don't have to sugarcoat it. We're all adults here. Go ahead and say it. And they did. Good. All right. If we learned anything from this election, it's how important it is for us to fight. We also learned how desperately the left wants to, fight to take babies' lives, which is why every day Preborn Ministries fights for those babies. Preborn's network of clinics is positioned in the highest abortion areas, the black neighborhoods, the Hispanic neighborhoods, and that's by design because that's what Planned Parenthood is all about. That's why they were founded, to get rid of minorities. Now, is their mission in life? I mean, it can't be stated enough, I don't think, that this abortion thing boils down to that, getting rid of the so-called, by Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, undesirables in our society. Nothing could be more racist and genocidal than that. And, babies from all walks of life have been murdered to the tune of 64 million Americans. 64 million and counting. It goes up almost a million every year. That's why there's preborn. That's why they show women ultrasounds, and they can show that ultrasound to them for free because of your donation of $28. That buys one ultrasound. 5 would cost $140. And if you want to do a really big donation of $5,000 or $15,000, you can really fund the saving of hundreds, if not thousands, of babies. So if you can, please do. To donate, dial pound 250, say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby, or go to preborn.com/Pat.
Pat Gray returns.
So did President-elect Donald Trump, man, that feels good to be able to say that, President-elect Donald Trump, he talked about the Department of Education yesterday. So that's always fun. Here's what
And
he
one
had to
other
say.
thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C.
Please.
And sending all education and education work and needs back to the states.
Please.
We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're going to send it all back to the states.
Good.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Please. There's a great meme that you see pop up every now and then. In 1979, it's got Jimmy Carter's face on it. In 1979, I created the Department of Education. Since then, America has gone from first to 24th in education. Something like that. Yeah.
Man.
Every time you federalize something or the federal government gets involved, bad things happen, y'all.
Yeah.
And education's no different.
This is fascinating because he's, I bet a lot of people don't believe him that we spend 3 times more for less of an impact in our kids' lives. I don't know where we rank right now, but we've been as low as like 49th in the world, and we do spend the most on the planet per student. So when you look at the expenditures on a state-by-state basis, and you see who spends the most money per student, and you see it's Washington, D.C., it's New York, it's all of these places where the results don't match up with the expenditures.
Right.
Not even close. So he's right. And if leftists would do a little bit of research on this, just find out for yourself. Look up the numbers. It's not that hard to find. And, I just did a Google search while we're on the air here. This is from last year. And my gosh, do we spend a lot. Fiscal year per per pupil spending for all reporting states adjusted for the fiscal year 2022. So right now it's about $16,500 per student. That was back at 2022. You know it's gone up since then. In 2013, it was a little under 14,000. Now it's over 16,000 per student. And are we getting our money's worth?
Money.
No, we're not.
Money.
Jeez.
Never the answer.
Here's the states per pupil that increased an average of 6.3% from 2020 to 2021. The top 5 states with the largest percentage increases in spending. Maine, Louisiana, Vermont, Oklahoma, and Montana all started spending more. But that's not who spends the most. New York actually spends the most, and I think that's followed by Washington, D.C. And how are the students there doing in those 2 locations? Seems like not that great, but then the states, you look at the states that spend the least per pupil, but get the most out of it, like Utah. They don't spend an exorbitant amount per pupil. It would cost them a fortune. They got a lot of kids in Utah. And so it's just a matter of the quality of education. You don't always get what you pay for. So maybe we should be looking into that. So I really hope he does shut down the Department of Education. I mean, it's been promised many times by many different Republicans, and it's never been done. So I would love to see it happen for real this time. He's really got my expectations.
I tell you,
sky high
this
right
time
now.
feels different.
It does.
But we're setting ourselves up for some massive disappointment.
I know. If it doesn't actually happen, we're going to be pissed.
Yes, we are. And we'll say so. And we'll say so.
I will say so.
I mean,
yes, I will say so.
But let's hope that...
And you know what? All hardcore Trump supporters should do the same.
Oh, yes.
Okay? He's built up some serious expectations, and I really believe he will deliver.
I do too.
But let's hold him to the fire. Let's make sure he does.
Yeah. This time feels different, you know?
It does.
So
it does. And it needs to be different this time. Again, we've got a country to save. And so if you don't take the steps you're promising to take, we might as well have elected Kamala Harris.
Easy.
So I don't I don't think it's going to be that drastic.
Please, no. I don't think it's that.
We'll talk about some of the celebrities that have promised they were definitely leaving America. Maybe it's time for a GoFundMe page.
Yes.
You know, to help them with the Mayflower moving van and
Get
that
out.
kind of thing. Yeah. More coming up.
You got to pay your bills.
Pat Gray.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
With some tweets, blah, 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 tweets. So what is Vivek's cabinet position going to be? Treasury? Commerce? Inquiring minds want to know. Haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
Have not heard.
Whatever you want, Vivek.
And you talk about a loyal soldier for him. He's even during his campaign, he was loyal to Trump.
Okay, so who would you like to see as press secretary?
Well, I mean, that'd be a tremendous position for him, but I think it's a little beneath him.
I do too.
I think so too.
Exactly. So,
But he'd be great at it. I don't know.
Treasury? Could he go to Treasury?
Good. Yeah, good. Haven't heard any rumor about where he's going, though. So, we'll see.
I don't doubt that he's a big player, though.
Yeah, I think he will be. Unrepentant thought criminal. Thankfully, the only relatives I have who voted for Kamala were my grandparents, and they're all dead.
See what you did there?
See? Jessica Mullins tweets, wait, these women are not going to procreate for at least 4 years? That seems like a win for all of us. Do we really need more of them? No, we do not.
Good.
Kenneth Parker tweets, the left may end Planned Parenthood for us.
Yeah.
Big Poppy, Senator Kennedy is silly. Everyone knows Elvis lives in a trailer in rural Utah and works at a Circle K.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
I was thinking...
Don't pretend like you didn't know that.
Well,
Don't pretend. Uniparty monger, why a secret vote? Well, the grift works much better in secret. is not the truth. Reductive garbage. They're going to pick Thune or Cornyn. The last wall of subterfuge against Trump is the Republican Party itself.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah. The N1 James, they checked the underwear drawer for Peanut the squirrel's owner, too. Government agents love a good panty raid.
Oh, my gosh.
It's incredible. Just despicable. And yet, it happens all the time, obviously. We're talking about the celebrities who said they were going to leave America, definitely leaving America if Trump won. Well, Trump won. Are you packing your bags? But Kathy Griffin wants us to know that she's not one of the celebrities who said she's moving.
Hi, you guys. It's me, Kathy. Okay, so I am responding to a bunch of the comments that I've been getting. Look, sometimes I read the comments. Sometimes my security folks advise me to not read them. But let me...
You got security
I'm not
folks?
leaving the country. All right? I never said that. I was never one of these celebrities, D-list or otherwise, that was like, and if Trump gets reelected, I'm leaving the country and I'm going here and I'm going to do this. Obviously, I didn't want him to win. But if you guys know my story at all, and if you don't, just Google Kathy Griffin, Donald Trump. I've already tussled with him. I've tussled with him 7 years ago, and I prevailed, and
You prevailed?
What? Just played Carnegie Hall 2 weeks ago, and by the way, literally kissed the stage. There's a big lipstick mark that's still there, probably. And what's going to happen now, especially with Project 2025, is yet
Which
to be
wasn't
seen
Trump's.
how much they're going to do of it. But I definitely suggest that you read Project 2025. It's not that difficult of a read at all.
Right.
It's not a book.
And it's
But
not bad either, at all.
I have had the knock at the door.
Have you?
So
What
don't
knock?
come at
Wait,
me
what?
and don't be talking to me about,
absolutely.
you should be so scared,
Oh.
Kathy, and
She's saying
I'm
Secret
sure
Service?
you're packing your bags.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. She did the head
cutting of the
amputation
head.
of Donald Trump.
Head.
Yeah, of course they knocked at your door, you moron.
Man, she's so bad.
And the part where she said she
Good gosh.
prevailed, she was talking about not being canceled.
Okay.
Not like...
Because she's still playing
'cause she's
Carnegie
still-
Hall and whatever.
Yes. Because I had to go back in and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you took him to court? No, it was because she thought she was going to get canceled. She didn't get canceled. I'm
Well,
like,
the right
what?
doesn't do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Essentially. That's a leftist maneuver.
Can we?
That's incredible. Who would go, by the way? Who would ever go to a Kathy Griffin show?
She had one here. I have free tickets from the veterans. I was like, no, thank you.
You couldn't pay me enough. Not only would I not pay, you couldn't pay me enough to go to it.
She has to still be making some good bank. I mean, look at how much makeup that woman puts on her face.
Yeah,
how much do you
amazing.
think?
Look at that.
Between the Botox and the makeup and what else going on there?
There's some things happening
How
here.
much is being spent on that
That's
face
what
every
you
day?
call a clown face by Jeffy standards.
My gosh.
Yeah, bless her heart.
That's a lot going on.
Yes, thank you, Pat.
What is she,
Bless her
60? I mean, she's
gosh,
getting up there, so.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
So is she going to do the... I have no idea. Does she still do the CNN thing on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, she's 64.
64, wow.
And she does the CNN thing?
Yeah,
I don't know if she...
I think so. I don't know. Maybe did they get rid of her
I
finally?
don't know if they got rid of her because I know last year I remember her and Don and Anderson getting all drunk and kissy.
Yeah. I don't know. But
What a strange person.
No, thank you. Jeez. I mean, even before she got so political, I never thought she was funny.
No. Not even on Seinfeld.
I don't think I've ever even grinned at anything she's ever said,
She's
let alone
annoying.
being funny. She's not even amusing. Man. So we got a full list of celebrities who have said they're moving abroad. So that's fun. Because they're freaking out. And here is, Newsweek has contacted a representative of Trump via email for comment on some of these things. But this is fun because it starts with Barbara Streisand. During an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert exactly a year ago, Streisand told Colbert that she can't live in the United States should Trump be successful in another bid for the White House. Good. Don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out. When asked by Colbert for her thoughts on the current political climate, Streisand said it was bad. before clarifying, I like Biden. I think he's done a good job. What a moron. I think he's compassionate. He's smart. He supports the right things. But Colbert then asked her, what about, what if Trump wins a second term? I will move. I can't live in this country if he became president. Okay? So she would probably move, she said, to England. I like England. That's fine. That'd be awesome. Cher, in an October 2023 interview with The Guardian, she expressed her horror at the very thought of Trump making a return to the White House. I almost got an ulcer the last time he was in office. If he gets in, who knows? This time I will leave.
Okay, bye. Whatever.
It's something like 500 bills they're trying to pass. I was with 2 trans girls the other night, and of course my own child. Okay,
of course.
I was saying we've got to stand together. I don't know what their eventual plan is for trans people. I don't put anything past them. Okay. Yeah, they're going to round them all up.
Okay.
And put them in concentration camps, I'm pretty sure. Sharon Stone. Oh, this is too bad. In late July, as the presidential race was drawing closer, she said she was also considering a move to Europe if Trump wins.
Bye.
I'm certainly considering a house in Italy, she said. I think that's an intelligent construct at this time. Speaking of Trump, she said, this is one of the first times in my life that I've actually seen anyone running for office on a platform of hate and oppression. Oh, shut up. An idiot. So, as far as backtracking, over the years, a host of other celebrities have spoken about leaving the United States. But after Trump's victory in 2016, many went on to explain that they were either joking or they changed their minds. And I'm sure that will happen again this time.
Yep.
Among those was Miley Cyrus, who declared in an Instagram post back in 2016, honestly, F this S. I am moving if this is my president. I don't say things I don't mean.
Wait.
Really?
So get out.
And yet she's still here. Why? Girls star Lena Dunham seemed equally committed to making a departure in 2016 when she said she was going to move to Canada. Yeah, okay. And unfortunately, she didn't. Also mulling a move north of the border during that election cycle was Breaking Bad star Bryan Cranston.
That's too bad.
He said he would definitely move to Canada if Trump won. He did not.
Did not
do that. Comedian Amy Schumer, cousin, right, of Chucky, we found out last week.
Right.
Sure is.
Yeah. She caused a stir back in 2016 when she told the BBC, my act will change because I need to learn to speak Spanish because I will move to Spain or somewhere. It's beyond my comprehension if Trump wins. It's just too crazy.
Just a little bit insight to her. Yes, they speak Spanish, but it's Catalan Spanish, so it's closer to Latin. So you need to learn Latin.
Oh, wow.
Not Spanish.
Really?
Yes,
in
sir?
Spain?
Yes.
Okay. While a number of people took her remarks seriously, Schumer shared in a since deleted Instagram post after the election that all she said was in jest. I'm just kidding. Come on.
You.
Just kidding. Whoopi Goldberg back in May lashed out on The View in response to a doctored meme that portrayed her as saying she was moving to Canada. She said, for sure this time. Days after Trump was elected in 2016, she clarified her position on remaining in the country. She said a lot of folks have said they were leaving over the course of these last couple of years if Trump got elected. And once again, people assume that's what I said, but I was incorrectly lumped in with the rest. Okay, that's too bad because I would love to see her out of the country as well and off The View. Of course, I mean, I've never once watched 1 second of The View. The only way I've seen any of it is in clips. So I try to ignore them as much as possible.
Right, exactly. And I specifically avoided looking for any View clips yesterday. I think we've had our fill of that.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
You know what?
So,
Just go and make your spells, cast your spells, brew your whatnot in the big cauldron, and
your Eye of Newt.
Yeah, if a tree falls in the forest. Oh, speaking of if a tree falls in the forest, what's his name? Chris Wallace, leaving
He's
CNN.
done.
Yeah,
after 3 years.
Oh yeah,
So
he's going to do a podcast like every other living
Wait,
organism on this
exactly.
planet.
He says that seems to be where the action is.
Well, it's funny you guys were talking about celebrities leaving. Harry and Meghan have purchased a home in Portugal for $4.7 million.
Hold on.
Wait, who?
Yeah, don't.
Harry
and
the
Meghan
Sesson?
Markle. Yes.
No.
Harry
No.
and
Oh,
Meghan.
okay.
Oh.
I thought.
No, Prince
Wait a
Harry.
minute.
I didn't
Prince
understand
Harry.
where you said they're moving.
All right, where are they
Portugal.
going? Where?
Portugal. I guess I'll say it in English.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. What
Because-
did you? How did you say it?
Portugal.
Portugal.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. This is a U.S. based show
Really?
where we speak
Okay.
English.
Yeah.
So maybe next time.
Anyways.
So they're moving to Portugal.
They're moving to Portugal, and this is their quote: "Emergency escape solution."
Cool.
Because Trump back in, I love this quote. Trump back in February, he said, "I will not protect him. He betrayed the queen. That's unforgivable. He will be on his own." Because the problem is that when he applied for an American citizenship, or a visa, he, on his stupid little book, he said that he did drugs, like hardcore drugs.
Oh, right.
And you can't be doing drugs if you are trying to apply for a visa.
That's awesome.
But the big problem that they can't really move to where they want to move is because they don't have a citizenship to the European Union. And that's also in the courts as we speak.
Amazing.
Interesting.
So they don't belong to anything now.
Speaking of the courts, you got a judge going to rule on whether or not he's going to toss out the 34 felonies against Trump today. That's going to be happening. And then also our own Steve Baker. He's going to plead guilty.
He will be pleading
today.
guilty. Yep.
And hope that things work out with Trump being in office.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Say a prayer for.
I know that I saw that his delay request was denied, but I didn't know he was going to plead guilty.
Yeah. He broke that news last night at Sarah Unfiltered.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. Okay. Well, throwing himself on the mercy of the court or the mercy of Donald Trump.
And I think that was how he said it. He said, I'm going to let's see what the judge says. And then if the judge rules not to his favor, he's holding on Trump's promise that he's going to get a pardon.
Wow.
That's a big...
Yeah, that's
a big ask.
I mean, it's scary.
It is very...
It's scary. I think Trump will pardon them, but still, it's a little nerve-wracking. Okay, head to blazeelection.com/Pat right now because this isn't just a win. It's a turning point for America. President Trump's victory is a big moment for everyone who's tired of the usual spin and misleading stories from the mainstream media. While traditional networks scrambled, Blaze Media stayed true to our promise to bring you the truth as it happened. This is the start of a future we've all been waiting for, where real stories matter. In a time when big media often focuses on distractions over facts, Blaze Media is here to set the record straight. We're committed to telling the absolute truth, holding power accountable, and standing up for the values that make this country so strong. But we can't do it alone. We can't do it without you. By subscribing to Blaze Media, you're helping us reach Americans everywhere. And right now, you can get $47 off your annual subscription. Our biggest discount ever. So visit blazeelection.com/Pat, blazeelection.com/Pat, and join us. Let's wake up America together, one truth at a time.
Join the conversation online at Pat Unleashed. Pat Gray will return after this.
Tweets here. Groundhog Baby tweets, Melania can say disgusting in 5 languages. I wonder how many languages Jill can say it in.
Si se puede.
Yeah.
Right?
Podway.
Podway? Yeah, which is the way she pronounced it.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Yeah. I mean, let's get the exact pronunciation from
So
her.
say it with me.
Okay.
Si se puede. The future is ours. Thank you.
Yeah. Direct translation there, right?
Yes.
Si se puede. The future is ours.
Nailed it.
She can't even speak it in English. So, none. No languages. Joe Monteleone, 4. It's only a matter of time before the Democrats install Kamala as president for a few weeks, just to spite Republicans. Does this mean we all have to be nauseated with an official presidential portrait?
Oh.
I keep seeing this come up. I don't believe this is going to happen, but a lot of people are worried about it, that it's not going to happen. They're not.
You know
gonna
how
do that.
pathetic that would look?
Yeah, it'd be bad.
Come on.
And
Dr. Jill Biden is not going to allow that.
No. Neither is Brain Dead Joe. He's not going anywhere.
That's his official
until
title,
January
Brain
20. Yeah, Brain Dead Joe will not allow it. Sweater Yams closing the Department of Ed. Pray for the safety of Donald Trump daily.
True.
Yeah. Eyebrows McGee. It's not that difficult to read. It's not a book. So Kathy admits she's too stupid to read a book.
Yeah, that was the quote. She says, not too difficult to read. It's not a book. That's a good point.
Cosmopolitan Cornbread. Can we just agree that maybe all of these celebrities wanted to move out of the country if Trump became president are probably on the list?
Oh, on the Diddy list.
Oh.
That's their motivation.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Or on the Epstein list, or
Maybe.
on both lists.
Right. Speaking of the celebrities and the election and people moving, Oprah apparently no longer talking about the election after the Kamala loss. Here she is, cut 15. Oprah Winfrey.
Hey, Oprah, good morning. How are you, darling? You looking very good. How do you think the election went?
Not talking about the election. Thank you very much.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
Not true.
Not true, okay.
I was paid nothing ever.
What do you think about all the celebrities with their mass exodus?
I'm not talking about
Do you think Prince Harry's going to lose his visa now that Trump's president? Thank you, Oprah.
Is that an SUV? How dare she?
And the reason why he asked about the Harry thing is because Harry and Meghan are staying at one of her homes.
Are they really?
Yes.
Oh, where?
Somewhere in California.
Oh, jeez. All right.
By the way, she's not looking great. She definitely looks a lot different than when we see
That's
the
for sure.
Oprah on TV.
Yes.
That looks like a normal person.
Yeah. That looks like somebody just crawled out of bed and went to their car.
Yes, I'm like, I literally thought it was a deep fake because that's not Oprah. But I was like, oh my God, no, it is Oprah.
Why is a celebrity having to walk that far to her vehicle? Isn't that supposed to be parked under her house?
I think it's California, so.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it is. I have so many questions.
Where is she?
Is it California or Hawaii?
I don't know where she is.
Do we know?
Huh.
I'm just... I'm
it's a nice car.
I'm pissed that she's getting into. Wait. Go back to that very last frame, Joe. What kind of vehicle is that again? It shows on the door. Oh, never mind. No, that's a graphic. Sorry.
Oh, that's the water.
Yeah,
I'm going blind, y'all. Sorry.
I mean, that's a Rivian or a Range Rover.
Oh, it's probably
one of those.
Oh, yeah, it's probably one of those. You're right.
EV.
Yeah.
All right, you get a pass, Oprah.
That's why she has to walk to it.
Or as Nana calls her, Ofra.
Because it's our SUVs that are killing this planet. So Oprah certainly wouldn't be driving regular gas power.
Oh, no,
she better not.
She's better than us, man.
Better not.
Way better than us. So the Harris campaign paid $20 million for endorsements. Here's a tweet about that from the campaign, or from Breaking 911. Holy smokes, Kamala's campaign wasted $20 million to buy the endorsements of celebrities. Okay, they claim $5 million to Megan Thee Stallion.
Right?
What? $3 million to Lizzo. $1.8 million for Eminem, and just $1 million for Oprah. Wow, wow.
Wait, where was Lizzo? Where was that appearance?
That was the Detroit. Right?
So she paid, I assume Eminem was in Detroit as well.
Yes, I'm sure.
So basically $5 million for Michigan, $5 million in Georgia. That's where Megan Thee Stallion was.
Interesting, huh?
$1 million for Oprah. I forgot where that was.
And then supposedly they paid over 6 figures to build that stupid.
They call her daddy podcast.
Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. For the
Alex
set.
Cooper.
They just built the set.
Yes.
Does she not have a set for Call Her Daddy?
No, she
where
doesn't.
Where does she do it?
She does it out of her, to my understanding, the way she sells it, she does it out of her home.
And where was this built?
The vice president. Oh, I don't know where it was built, but the vice president is not going to anybody's home.
I guess not.
Like, I'm not going to even say, Kamala, go to her house and record your podcast.
But when I see those numbers like that on what the campaign spent the money on, despite having a massive surplus of funds in the last few weeks, I think of Donald Trump suggesting, or at least floating the idea
that he pay for it.
Come on.
Don't bail him out.
Do not.
President Trump, do not bail them out. They don't deserve it.
I want them digging out of this debt for the next campaign cycle.
Unconscionable that they're $20 million in debt after raising $1.3 billion. No bailouts. And they are sending out emails to beg all their donors for more money.
Yes, they are.
What would it take to convince you to donate to us now? Oh my gosh. Nothing? Because you're not getting another penny.
And I won't be able to find this on the fly here, but one of the things that she's raising money for, I don't know if they just haven't updated it on the website or whatever, but they say explicitly that part of your funds will go to the recount effort. Now, I don't know if that's still part of their expenditures. I don't know what you're recounting, but...
yeah, there's nothing to recount. I mean, it's over. It's over, okay? He didn't get 400 electoral votes like Biden's internal polling showed he might, but he did get 312, and that's a pretty solid mandate.
And remember, they inflated both the Biden numbers tremendously in 2020 by many reports. They inflated the Trump numbers as well, so it didn't look so obvious when they dumped, all the ballots in for Biden. And yet Donald Trump ended up with more votes this go around than in 2020 when that number was inflated.
Yeah.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Senator-elect McCormick from Pennsylvania has now been invited to the Senate orientation today. He's officially been declared the winner in Pennsylvania, and so I guess that was the remaining obstacle, supposedly. But anyway, he'll be there. He'll be there.
Yeah, so we're running out of time rapidly here.
Yeah.
In order to play the John Fetterman clip where he's, hey, Bob Casey!
Hey, Bob Casey!
John Fetterman! But we still got Fetterman at least.
That was a great moment, wasn't it? In American history? A great moment. It was almost as good as this.
Would just really like
really,
the 95.
95.
95, 95.
95, 95. I mean, could you put it any better than that? I don't think
How
so.
did you even ask?
Yeah,
honestly,
perfection.
That guy right there is my favorite Democrat senator in a generation.
I could say that. Yeah, I like that.
And who would have guessed at the beginning of this thing that would be the case?
Seriously.
Well, we talked about it, Pat. Factory reset.
Yes, he did get a factory reset of his brain. Yes. Can you deny that?
No,
he's
you cannot.
too different now to deny it. Even when he's saying things that are friendly to the Democrats in his own party, he's still not the way he used to be. And so, I mean, it's more palatable now, even when he's criticizing Republicans, which isn't very often, really.
And remember, this is the senator that has all the pictures of the Israeli hostages in his office.
Yeah.
He did a 3-hour interview with Joe Rogan, something that Kamala couldn't do.
Right. A guy who had a stroke and almost died from it did a 3-hour interview, but Kamala couldn't do it. Amazing. So Rosie O'Donnell, what is the Rosie O'Donnell clip we have here?
We've been talking about celebrities leaving the country.
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell is taken to the next level, Pat.
Oh, okay.
And this is what she's going to do since Trump won.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everybody. Guess what? It's a new year soon. I can have a new start on my TikTok.
Oh, no.
Rosie O 2025.
Okay.
That's my name on TikTok that I'm going to start using in January.
Okay. Oh, that's
Rosie O 2025.
Rosie
It's going to
O
be a private account.
A private account.
So if you want to follow it, and then I'll follow you back. And we'll try to do this in a little bit more of a sane way.
Oh,
okay?
I see.
Oh,
Okay.
you're involved.
Okay.
It's totally sane.
Hang in there, people.
You too, Puddin'.
Hang in there.
Yeah, we're trying.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, isn't it though? And yet,
Be kind to each other.
cry
Even
when
when you don't want to.
Oh, she wants to. She wants to cry.
She does. She's on the verge of tears.
She's on the verge of tears. So her solution to not leaving the U.S. is to create a private TikTok account so that she doesn't get trolled and she's able to communicate with her community.
How's she going to filter out?
That's what I said.
Yes, I love you, Rosie.
Right?
Whatever.
Jeez.
Okay.
So we had one more appearance from Joe Biden as commander-in-chief at Arlington. This happened on Veterans, so just yesterday, right? So here he is.
This is the last time I will stand here at Arlington as Commander-in-Chief.
Good.
It's been the greatest
Thank
honor
heaven.
of my life.
Not for us.
To lead you, to serve you, to care for you, to defend you, just as you defended us, generation after generation after generation. You are the greatest fighting force, and this is not hyperbole, the finest fighting force in the history of the world.
Oh, and that's it, huh?
Oh, he didn't.
We didn't
fall
even get a
over
don't jump. I was hoping for a don't
Really?
jump, at least one final.
There was
Don't
not,
jump.
There was not.
Don't jump.
Like, nobody was covering this speech at all.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody
I mean, it is
cares.
as if he were completely gone.
It's like we don't have a president.
It is. It is very much like we don't have a president
Can we move
right
up
now.
inauguration date? Is that constitutional?
I don't,
Can we just-
I don't see why not.
Can we move the date?
Right?
The
Yes.
Constitution guy.
Let's do it.
We have
Let's do it.
69 days until Trump is sworn in. We got to deal with this guy.
How sweet is that, though, now, when we were looking at that calendar and we were agonizing over 300 days until 200 days.
I got accused of not knowing how to work a computer.
Yes,
and
we accused
messing
you
up
of all
the-
manner of evil.
Yes.
We were
Like
convinced
it was my fault.
you were drawing this thing out on purpose, you
Like I was
bastard.
controlling time somehow.
So great.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't put it past you.
So great.
I want to thank Matt Hawkins. We got we're going to do a countdown bug. You know how it said, countdown to the election day? He suggested we do a countdown to inauguration day. So I think starting tomorrow,
Yes, please.
we're going to put that graphic up there.
Oh, good.
And that'll be fun.
I like it.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. I like it. Awesome. All right, let me take a minute and tell you about the Jace case, because yes, we've had a change in the presidency. We've got some new policies, and that can mean big changes in healthcare and areas impacting everyday life, like shipping delays. These changes are expected to have a huge impact on medication prices and availability, affecting people across the country. But there's a way to prepare right now for whatever happens. If we get into a trade war with China, who knows what's going to happen there? If we do have tariffs, and look, I support the president's policies, the new president's policies on a lot of things. But could there be some issues with our medication? You bet. You bet there could. China could cut us off. They produce almost all our antibiotics. But you can take care of that with the Jace case and have a series of 5 antibiotics ready to go in case you get any kind of bacterial infection. You'd be totally ready. All you have to do is go online, fill out a form, and then they'll check it over, make sure you don't have allergies to any of this medication, and then you get your medication. So you get the 5 antibiotics, and you can do add-ons too. Things like EpiPens and ivermectin, and there's a whole list. Just check it out online. Jace case will be ready. Visit jace.com today. Enter the promo code PAT for a discount at checkout. That's promo code PAT, P-A-T, at jase.com.
Pat Gray is Unleashed.
In one of the most egregious and unconstitutional penalties I've ever seen, Alex Jones is going to lose his company tomorrow, which is just unconscionable.
Sure is, man.
What was it? It was $1.5 billion?
Sure.
$1.5 billion penalty.
It could have been $1 trillion.
Yeah.
It might as well be.
Yeah.
Stupid.
He doesn't have $1.5 billion. He doesn't have $1 billion. He doesn't have $100 million. So anyway, he's got to shut down Infowars. And here he is talking about that.
Wednesday afternoon, Infowars, the equipment, Infowars.com, InfoWarsStore.com, and a whole bunch of other stuff is at a federal bankruptcy auction. From the fake judgments and the rigged trials where I was found guilty beforehand and they had literal show trials out of the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany.
Yep.
Right when I walked in here during the break after getting a glass of water, saw the auctioneers inside the building, going around surveying from the last time they were here to make sure all the stuff's here.
Oh, my gosh.
Everything tagged, everything marked. This desk,
gotta be
these
kidding
tables, this microphone.
And this is East Germany.
They're in the control room right now. So that's how close this is. Now, good guys say they're going to buy it. Okay, they're good guys. They buy it. Who knows if they're really good guys once they buy it? You know, we got to see. I don't count on any of that. And as the countdown goes down, if the bad guys do buy this in less than 48 hours, then we'll know. I'll keep broadcasting until they show up. They said they want to shut it down that day. They'll be here. And they're going to come in and they're going to flip a switch in there. I'm going to make them do that. I'm going to stay on the air right to the last minute because we don't quit to the last minute. And then I'm going to get in the new ship. I'm going to step into the new ship and continue on.
Wow.
It's just, I mean, this is this guy's baby. He's built this from the ground up.
It's really, it's inconceivable.
It's not,
whether you're a fan or not, and I never really have been. But that's beside the point. The point is that this is unconstitutional and un-American, what's happening to him. I mean, I understand that he said some things during the Sandy Hook thing that were hurtful to people. But you can't find somebody 1,000 times more than their net worth. I don't even know how many times. I haven't actually done the math because I don't know. I actually don't know his net worth right now, but it's probably, he estimated, I think when he was on the show, he estimated he's made in his lifetime $50 million.
I think that's what it was.
Wasn't that about right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a guy who's made in his life $50 million, that doesn't mean he's worth that now, but he's made in his lifetime $50 million. You find him over $1 billion?
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. And if you did miss, if you're a new subscriber, it was back in March.
Yes.
That Pat did a nice long interview with Alex Jones on Overtime.
We'll tweet out a link so you can watch it, but
yeah,
it's sad what's happening to Alex.
Really sad.
Because it could happen to us
really
as well.
Sad. Yeah.
100%.
Yep. It could happen to anybody. I mean, fortunately, Trump will hopefully will go into a hold mode on that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And maybe for a long time. Maybe it'll be a while before Democrats retake control. I sure hope so. But this particular thing is inconceivable, really, in America. Should be inconceivable. It actually happened.
Yeah, it's one of those things you point to when people are like, "Oh, show me how we're like old Soviet Union and in the Eastern Bloc." And
ta-da!
Here you go.
You need more evidence than that? They've completely shut this guy down and stolen his business from him. I mean, cruel and unusual punishment is forbidden in the U.S. Constitution, and that's exactly what this is. You can't be doing this to somebody. If you want to fine him $50,000, $100,000. But this is insanity.
I don't think you find free speech at all.
Yeah, I don't think you do either, but jeez.
I'm curious to know what is the new ship that he's
that's
talking
cool.
about.
I don't know. He must have a new studio.
I bet. Because he's doing really good on X, because his shows are on X all the time. So I'm excited to see his new adventure.
Yeah. Be interesting.
It'll be sad because there's no more Infowars. So what do you call it? New Infowars?
Don't know.
It's like New Coke.
Oh, New Coke. Okay, yeah.
New
you're
Infowars.
Right. New Infowars.
Classic Infowars.
Classic Infowars?
Yeah, Infowars Classic. There.
Infowars Classics.
I wonder who the people are that are buying it.
Yeah, I'm really curious to know, because if he doesn't know the really good guys, then that must mean that he has no relationship with them. And Alex Jones has been...
Must, right.
He's been on the air forever.
Yikes. This is risky.
It is. Sure is.
But he was forced. I mean, the government just came down on him like a ton of bricks. Jeez. And again, I feel badly for the Sandy Hook people who went through some hassles and they were harassed by idiots. But Alex didn't do it.
No. And by the way, you could see that it's getting a toll on him because he's lost some weight.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an Ozempic thing or did he do it on purpose or is that just sheer stress? He looks really good.
He looks great.
He looks really good.
He looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But I hope... Wait,
I hitting on him a little bit?
You're into him.
Hitting on him
okay.
a little bit there,
I'm just saying that I could be his plumber. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck with that. Meanwhile, Tom Homan, our new border czar.
Yeah.
We thought we'd share why this is such a good thing to have this guy in charge of the U.S. border. Here's some of the things we've witnessed from him over time.
Your comments are disgusting. I've served my country. I've served my country for 34 years. I find your comments disgusting as well. I've served my country for 34 years, and yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms. In back of that tractor trailer, I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him.
Because he said you don't love kids.
Because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like, and I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member of Congress.
We agree on that.
Fix it.
We agree on that, but I disagree. But I also disagree with your characterization of immigrants as problems of criminality.
People for 3 decades on this.
Gentlemen, time is.
Look, you want to know why there's 50,000 people in detention? You want to know why we have 1 million illegal entries in the United States? You want to know why we have these issues? Because you have failed to secure the border. You have failed to work with this president to close the 3 loopholes we've asked for 2 years to close. So if you want to know why this issue exists, you need to look in the mirror. You have failed American people for not securing the border and closing loopholes.
Mr. Homan, please respect the chair and the authority of the chair. The time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time, and you let other people go beyond their time, but not to Tom Homan. He don't get me go beyond his time.
Mr. Homan, we have approved an agreement between the Republicans and the Democrats with the ranking member. We increased the time of one witness, one member of Congress who was interrupted by a protest. That is done with the approval of the ranking member. Please respect the chair's authority.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Homan!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Yeah!
So the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Thank you! Yes!
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father from his family.
Mr. Homan, with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with
asylees?
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way.
Thank you.
The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
She got nothing. She's got nothing.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is.
Of course there is.
Families can be deported together.
Yes! Brilliant.
You're damn right. Because you're going home. I got another message. Another message to the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggle enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done. Why would you release 5 or 6 female children to one male sponsor? Why would you do that? So God help these children. God help these children. I love kids. And this administration, I don't want to hear another word about you being humane. You're putting children at risk. Record number of Americans are dying. Record numbers of migrants are dying. There's one guy who can fix it, and it's Donald Trump.
Oh, my.
Look, I knew President Trump was going to run before you did because I had dinner with him in Las Vegas about 6 months before he announced. And we were having dinner, and he looked at me and says, Tom, I think I'm coming back. If I come back, can I get you to come back? I says, I tell you what, sir, I'm so pissed off, I'll come back for free.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
What a great choice. America's new border czar, beginning January 20th, Tom Homan. Phenomenal.
Doesn't have to be confirmed because it's a czar, which, is a nice, it's a little ironic that we are using that Russian designation.
Yeah, I think it's just a term. It's not really a czar, but yes.
But at least it avoids the whole, Senate battle.
But again, this shows one of the winners of this election. Not just Trump, not just the Republican. The American people are going to be winners in this thing. The Washington Free Beacon went through a whole list of winners and losers in this particular election cycle. And they list winners as diversity. Trump reversed America's slide toward racial polarization and assembling the most diverse and inclusive Republican electorate since the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Another winner, Hillary Clinton, because she's not the only woman to ever be defeated now for president of the United States. Mental health professionals are going to be big winners because how many Democrats are they going to get the chance to treat now? Millions. Josh Shapiro. Harris didn't pick him as a running mate. She didn't want Shapiro to outshine her, which he would have. He's a competent politician who does a decent Obama impersonation. Also, his Jewish background might have alienated the liberal base, so they didn't pick him. So he's a definite winner in this. Jeff Bezos, the Amazon founder, will get even richer when Trump rescues the economy again. He incited a ridiculous temper tantrum among the Washington Post employees when he blocked them from publishing a meaningless Harris endorsement. Some of them quit their jobs in protest. As if rubbing salt in their wounds, Bezos quickly congratulated Trump on his extraordinary political comeback and ordered Post employees to return to the office 5 days a week.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Tony Hinchcliffe, a guy whose name most people probably didn't know. He's a winner in this. His Madison Square Garden appearance, he survived it. Trump survived it.
Boy. And in hindsight, the way that thing played out,
couldn't have been any better, could it?
Right. He makes the comment. Biden
turns it around. Yep.
And it becomes a catch-all for all of us Trump voters.
Fantastic.
We're garbage.
Just fantastic.
Awesome.
They also cite Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, obvious winners in this particular thing. Women are winners in this. Trump's victory will usher in a golden age of women's rights. I love that. So true. His chief of staff, Susie Wiles, will be the first woman to hold that job ever. It will soon be safe to play sports again. Women can say Merry Christmas and be attractive without getting publicly shamed. They deserve so much better than what Democrats have been able to deliver to them. Scott Jennings on CNN, who fought the madness on CNN for months, years. He turned out to be right about so many things. McDonald's for allowing Trump to participate in the drive-thru. I mean, they're just Atlas Intel, the most accurate pollster of 2020, did it again this year. They predicted Trump would win every swing state, and he did, as well as the popular vote, and he did.
Wow.
And of course, because of that, they were largely ignored by the mainstream media. Israel, a big winner in this election. Some of the losers, obviously, Joe Biden. Tim Walz. Thank you very much.
Minnesota, also a loser in this, because he's coming back.
Oh, man. No kidding. The Obamas. They backed the candidate that lost. I mean, all of these people are relegated to also ran status now. I love it. Alex Soros, the son of George, the mainstream media, journalists are the worst. They scolded the American people for feeling stressed about the economy and thinking Biden was too old to run for re-election. They still don't understand why no one trusts them or takes them seriously. They tried to put their thumbs on the scale for Harris, but it made no difference due to their rapidly diminishing credibility and relevance. They will learn nothing and carry on into the void. How true is that? It's really good. Really, really good.
I love it.
All right. We've got overtime coming up. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you then. Jeffy will join us to chew the fat.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.